Peppa Pig. Peppa's Post. One day, Mr. Zebra the postman delivered a very important letter to Peppa and George's house. "Look, George," cried Peppa, running to the front door. "It's for us," grunted George excitedly. "I wonder what's inside." "It's your tickets for Mr. Potato's marvellous theatre show," said Mummy Pig, helping Peppa open the envelope. "Oh, goody," gasped Peppa. "I love the theatre and I love Mr. Potato." That afternoon, Mammy and Daddy Pig drove Peppa and George to the Grand Theatre to meet Madame Gazelle and their friends. When they arrived, the show was about to start. "Please welcome," said a loud voice, "your friend and mine, Mr. Potato." "Oh, wow!" the children gasped all the way through the show. After it finished, they gave Mr. Potato a huge round of applause. And Madame Gazelle gave everyone a special envelope to take home. Daddy Pig helped Peppa and George read their letter from Madame Gazelle. The next morning, they followed the map to playgroup. "Welcome, little ones," Madame Gazelle beamed after the mummies and daddies had left. "Today we will be putting on a pantomime, and there will be a special guest coming." "Ooh!" everyone gasped. "Now, children," continued Madame Gazelle, "we have lots to do. First, we must make the posters and invitations for the pantomime." When they'd finished, everyone gave their invitations to Mr. Zebra. He raced off to deliver them. The first one was for Mummy and Daddy Pig. Mr. Zebra handed Mummy and Daddy Pig their invitation to the pantomime. "How lovely," said Mummy Pig when she opened the envelope. "Of course we can come." Mummy and Daddy Pig gave their reply to Mr. Zebra, and he raced off to deliver the other invitations. Later that morning, the playgroup doorbell rang. Ding dong! It was Mr. Zebra with an enormous parcel for all the children. "It's a dressing-up box," whispered Peppa to Susie. "A very big one." "Your costumes are here, my little stars," announced Madame Gazelle. The dressing-up box was full of wonderful costumes. Peppa and her friends picked their outfits and got ready. "Now you must practice your lines," said Madame Gazelle. "Peppa, you can start." "I'm Little Red Riding Hood," began Peppa. "I'm going to visit my grandma." Danny Dog was dressed as a big bad wolf. "I'm going to eat Little Red Riding Hood," he barked. "Wonderful acting, Peppa and Danny," said Madame Gazelle. The children were still practicing when the doorbell rang again. Ding dong! "It is Mr. Zebra with more post," announced Madame Gazelle. The children opened the parcel and found replies to their invitations. "Fabulous news!" exclaimed Madame Gazelle. "Everyone can come to our pantomime, even our mystery guest." "Who is the mystery guest, Madame Gazelle?" asked Peppa. "Is it the Queen?" "You will have to wait and see," replied Madame Gazelle. "Oh," sighed Peppa, a little disappointed. It was almost time for the pantomime to start. Everyone was arriving. Peppa peered around the curtain. She could see the mummies and daddies, but she couldn't see a mystery guest. "Please find your programs and take your seats," said Madame Gazelle. "Our pantomime is about to begin." "Ladies and gentlemen," said Madame Gazelle, "welcome to our pantomime." The children leapt onto the stage and everyone stood up to take photos. Click, click, flash, flash. Please, said Madame Gazelle, for the sake of the actors, no photography. The parents quietly sat back down in their chairs and the show began. I'm Little Red Riding Hood, began Peppa. I'm visiting my grandma. I'm the big bad wolf, said Danny. I'm pretending to be grandma, then I'm going to eat everyone. I'm the hunter, said Pedro. I'm chasing the big bad wolf away. Oh, wow! The parents gasped all the way through the performance. When the pantomime finished, the children bowed. Everyone gave them a huge round of applause, except for Mr. Zebra, who was so tired from delivering all the letters that he had fallen fast asleep. Where's the mystery guest? Peppa whispered to Susie. Just then the clapping stopped and a loud voice said, Please welcome our special guest, your friend and mine, Mr. Potato. Mr. Potato is more famous than the Queen, whispered Peppa excitedly. What a marvellous performance, said Mr. Potato, leaping up from his hiding place next to the stage. This pantomime was the best I have ever seen. Hooray! Cheered the children. They loved their pantomime, but they loved meeting Mr. Potato even more. The end. ABC with Peppa. A. Apple. B. Ball. C. Car. D. Dinosaur. E. Egg. F. Fish. G. Guitar. H. Helicopter. I. Insect. J. Jelly. K. Kite. L. Leaf.
Wow.
M. Monkey. N. Net. O. Orange. P. Parrot. Q. Queen. R. Rainbow. S. Scarecrow. T. Teddy. A. Umbrella. V. Van. W. Wellies. X. X-ray.
Wow.
Y. Yacht. Z. Zebra. A. B. K. D. E. F. G. H. E. J. K. L. M. N. O. P. Q. R. S. T. A. V. W. X, Y, Z. The end. Peppa Pig and the Halloween costume. It's almost Halloween. I love trick-or-treating, says Peppa. And jack-o'-lanterns. I love dressing up. George loves Halloween too. Peppa is trying to decide what she wants to be. I know, says Peppa. I will be a pirate. I will sail the high seas and hunt for buried treasure. But I'm going to be a pirate, says Danny Dog. I even have an eye patch.
Wow.
Maybe I'll be a clown instead, says Peppa. I will do a juggling act. I'm dressing up as a clown, said Pedro Pony. I have big clown shoes and a funny red nose. Okay, says Peppa. Maybe I will be a nurse. I will make everyone feel better. But Peppa, says Susie Sheep, I am dressing up as a nurse. Peppa frowns. Well then, I'll be a witch, with a pointy black hat and a broom. Peppa,
Meow.
says Candy Cat, I already have my costume, pointy black hat, broom. I'm a witch. George has an idea for Peppa. Dinosaur! Peppa does not want to dress up as a dinosaur. Peppa thinks she'd like to be a brave space traveller. But that idea is taken. Oh no! She even considers dressing up as a vegetable. Sorry, says Rebecca Rabbit. What can I be for Halloween? Asks Peppa. Maybe a brave cowboy, a happy tiger, a sparkly ballerina. Peppa thinks and thinks. Then she has an idea. I will be a brave, happy, sparkly fairy princess. Peppa likes her wings, crown and wand, but her costume is not quite perfect. Peppa thinks that maybe there is something missing. That's it! Even fairy princesses need muddy paddle boots. Happy Halloween! The end. Peppa Pig and the library visit. It's bedtime for Peppa and George. Could we have a story, please? Asked Peppa. Okay, says Mummy Pig. Here's the one about the red monkey. We always read that one, says Peppa. The red monkey takes a bath, brushes his teeth, and he goes to sleep. Let's choose another book instead. Peppa goes to the bookshelf. There's a book about a blue tiger. A book about a green spider. A book about an orange penguin.
Wow.
And... Ugh, says Peppa. What's this one? The Wonderful World of Concrete, reads Mummy Pig. I've been looking for that, says Daddy Pig. It's a book I borrowed from the library.
What's a library?
asked Peppa. A library is a place where you can go to borrow books. When you're finished reading them, you take them back so others can borrow them, says Daddy Pig. He looks at the book. I have had this for rather a long time, Daddy Pig says. You can return it tomorrow, says Mummy Pig, but right now it's bedtime.
After Daddy reads the story,
Peppa insists. Daddy Pig begins to read. The wonderful world of concrete. Concrete is made of sand, water, and other things. Chapter 1. Sand. Sounds of snoring fill the room. Peppa and George are fast asleep. So is Mummy Pig. The next morning, Peppa and her family head to the library. Peppa can't believe how many books are on the shelves.
look at them all,
She shouts. Shh, Peppa, says Daddy Pig. You must be quiet in the library, because people come here to read and to be quiet.
Next, please,
comes another shout. It's Miss Rabbit, the librarian.
Hello, Mummy Pig,
She says.
Are you returning these books?
Yes, Miss Rabbit. Mummy Pig gives her books to Miss Rabbit to scan, and the computer beeps as the books slide across the counter.
Why is that computer beeping?
asked Peppa. It's checking to see that you haven't been naughty and kept the book for too long. I may have kept this book for a bit too long, says Daddy Pig. Don't worry, says Miss Rabbit. Then her computer makes a loud, long beep. Daddy Pig, she shouts. You've had this book out for 10 years.
Naughty Daddy,
says Peppa. Now that Daddy Pig's book is returned, he can borrow another one. Peppa and George want to borrow books too. Miss Rabbit shows Peppa and George to the children's section.
Wow.
Ugh, says Peppa.
There are books about princesses and animals and planets.
Danny Dog and Susie Sheep are at the library too. Danny Dog is borrowing a book about soccer. Susie Sheep is borrowing one about doctors. George has chosen his book. It's about dinosaurs.
Dinosaur,
says George. Daddy Pig has found an exciting new book. Further Adventures in the World of Concrete.
But Daddy Pig,
says Peppa.
I want a fun bedtime book.
Mummy Pig pulls out a red monkey book.
Not that again,
says Peppa.
It's boring.
It's a different story, says Mummy Pig. Once upon a time, there was a red monkey.
I know,
says Peppa.
he had a bath, brushed his teeth, and went to sleep.
She says. No, says Mummy Pig. He had adventures.
Wow.
Ooh, say the children. They all gather around to see the book. Peppa wants to hear the story. We can read it at home, says Mummy Pig.
But I already chose a book about a princess,
says Peppa. Then she sees another book about birds.
That book looks interesting too.
Miss Rabbit has good news for Peppa.
You can take up to 3 books home if you'd like.
Hooray!
Yippee,
says Peppa.
You just have to remember to bring them back on time.
Says Miss Rabbit.
And that goes for you too, Daddy Pig. Peppa laughs. I'll make sure he remembers. I want to come back to the library all the time. I love the library.
Back at home, it's bedtime. Mummy Pig opens the new red monkey book. Once upon a time, there was a red monkey. He jumped in a space rocket and went to the moon.
The moon, says Peppa. What an adventure.
Mummy Pig turns the page. He had a picnic with a dinosaur.
Dinosaur,
says George. Then the red monkey swam under the sea. Mummy Pig turns the last page. Finally, he climbed the highest mountain. That was a busy day.
I think Daddy Pig agrees,
says Peppa. Everyone looks. Daddy Pig is fast asleep. The end, whispers Mummy Pig. Sounds of Daddy Pig's snores fill the room. Everyone laughs. What a fun day. The end. Peppa loves. Peppa loves her best friend, Susie Sheep.
I wish my tail was soft and fluffy like yours,
says Peppa.
I like your tail, Peppa,
giggles Susie.
It's cute and curly.
Peppa loves dressing up.
Look at me,
cries Peppa.
I'm a dancing fairy princess. Oh, your wings are really shimmery and shiny,
says Nurse Susie. Peppa loves her golden boots. If you jump in muddy puddles, you must wear your boots, laughed Daddy Pig.
My golden boots sparkle and glitter,
says Peppa proudly.
I'm going to make the biggest splash ever.
Peppa loves bath time.
Quack, quack,
cries Peppa.
Little duck, your wings are so smooth and bright. Quack, quack,
giggles George.
Splash.
Bonk, bonk. Peppa loves her teddy. Time to go to sleep, Peppa and George, whispers Mummy Pig.
Good night, Teddy,
sighs Peppa.
You're so cuddly and furry. Night, night.
The end. Peppa Pig, Pedro's cough. Peppa and her friends are waiting for Madame Gazelle to start their music lesson. Miss Polly Hatty Dolly, sings Madame Gazelle. What is that strange noise? Poor Pedro Pony has a nasty cough. Not to worry, says Madame Gazelle. I'll ring Dr. Brown Bear. Dr. Brown Bear looks after everyone when they are poorly. Dr. Brown Bear picks up his medical kit, jumps in his doctor's car, and drives straight to playgroup. I've got a cough, says Pedro when Dr. Brown Bear arrives. It's nothing serious, says Dr. Brown Bear. But it may be catching, so we'll give you some medicine. Cries Pedro.
It tastes like old shoe full of jam.
Susie Sheep and Danny Dog start to cough too. As I thought, says Dr. Brown Bear. Pedro's cough is catching. He gives them both some cough medicine.
Ugh! It tastes of carpet-flavoured yoghurt, says Susie. Yuck! It tastes of flowers, says Danny. Do you ever get ill, Dr. Brown Bear? asks Peppa. I'm never ill, because I eat an apple a day, says Dr. Brown Bear. Soon it is home time, and the parents arrive to pick up the children. I've got a cough, says Pedro. Dr. Brown Bear came to look after us, says Danny. All the adults start coughing too. Peppa picks up the phone. Dr. Brown Bear, now all the grown-ups are ill, she says. Now it is the grown-ups' turn to take the cough medicine. Ugh. It tastes like custard and old socks, cries Madame Gazelle. All the grown-ups must take the medicine to help them feel better. No one likes the medicine. Who looks after you when you're ill? asks Peppa. No one looks after me, replies Dr. Brown Bear. I'm never... Dr. Brown Bear has caught Pedro's cough too. Oh no! Who will look after Dr. Brown Bear? gasped Peppa. Poor Dr. Brown Bear is taken to hospital. He has some visitors. Danny has brought some fruit. Susie has brought the medicine. Open wide, says Susie. Ugh! cries Dr. Brown Bear. It tastes like jammy yogurt flavoured carpet shoe with floury custard old socks. Soon Dr. Brown Bear is feeling better. Everyone loves being looked after, even Dr. Brown Bear. The end. Peppa Pig, the train ride. Today, Madame Gazelle, Peppa and her friends are going on a train ride. Can I see your tickets, please? Mr. Rabbit asks them. The children wave their tickets in the air. Oh no, I've lost my ticket, Pedro cries. There's your ticket, Madame Gazelle says, pointing to a ticket on the ground. Try not to lose it again, says Mr. Rabbit, smiling at Pedro. All aboard, calls Miss Rabbit, the train driver, as the train pulls into the station. The children and Madame Gazelle jump onto the train and take their seats. The train pulls out of the station and heads down the hill. Madame Gazelle gives the children an activity sheet.
Wow!
They have to spot a boat, a signal box, and a tunnel. Just then Peppa says, I can see Grandad Dog. Ahoy there! Grandad Dog calls. Hooray! The children cheer. And then they tick their boat on their activity sheets. Pedro doesn't feel very well, so Madame Gazelle lets him go to the front of the train. Miss Rabbit lets him wear her hat and drive the train for a bit, which makes him feel much better. The train puffs slowly uphill. The train puffs quickly downhill. Whee! cry the children. The train stops at the junction to let Mrs. Duck and her friends safely across.
A signal box that's on our list,
says Peppa. Hooray! The children cheer, and then they tick signal box on their activity sheets. The train sets off again. Toot toot! Suddenly it all goes dark.
Ooh, we're in a tunnel,
Peppa says.
A tunnel is the last thing on our list.
The children tick tunnel on their activity sheets and give a cheer. Hooray! Last stop, Miss Rabbit calls.
But Madame Gazelle, how will we get home?
Peppa asks.
We are home, Peppa,
Madame Gazelle replies. The train has gone in a big circle. So they are right back where they started. Tickets, please, Mr. Rabbit says one last time.
Pedro, can I have my hat back, please?
Miss Rabbit asks. When Pedro lifts up the hat, there is his ticket.
Oh, that's where I put it,
Pedro says, and everybody giggles. The end. Peppa Pig, where's George's dinosaur? George can't find Mr. Dinosaur anywhere. There's something spiky in your den, says Mummy Pig. Is that him?
Dinosaur!
roars George. Peppa and George peek inside the den.
Oh, it's just a helmet,
Peppa sighs.
Where's George's dinosaur?
Says Mummy Pig. Where have we been today?
The zoo,
says Peppa. Mummy Pig takes Peppa and George back to the zoo. George spots a long tail behind some rocks.
Wow! Dinosaur!
roars George. Peppa and George look behind the rocks.
Oh, it's just Mrs. Crocodile,
Peppa sighs.
Where's George's dinosaur?
Where did we go after the zoo? asks Mummy Pig.
Choo-choo!
cries George. The train, that's right, George, says Mummy Pig. At the train station, George spies something green inside the train.
Wow! Dinosaur!
roars George. Peppa and George open the train door.
Oh, it's just a balloon,
Peppa sighs.
Where's George's dinosaur?
Now, where did the train take us today? asked Mummy Pig.
The castle,
gasped Peppa.
George's dinosaur must be there.
When they arrive at the castle, George sees some sharp teeth.
Wow! Dinosaur!
roars George. Peppa and George open the castle door.
Oh, it's just a dragon.
Peppa sighs.
Where's George's dinosaur?
I don't think we'll find him today, George, says Mummy Pig sadly. It's time to go home now. Oh no! As George gets ready for bed, he starts to cry. Don't worry, George, says Mummy Pig. We'll find Mr. Dinosaur tomorrow. She pulls back George's covers.
He was hiding in your bed all along, George,
cries Peppa. Phew, says Mummy Pig. Night-night, George. Night-night, Mr. Dinosaur. George loves his dinosaur. Everyone loves George's dinosaur. The end.
Hi kids, did you have fun watching this video? Then like and subscribe for more.